Hi, welcome to Decker's Nursery. I'm Conrad. I'm the owner of the nursery. So I wanted to take some time. May is a very busy time at the garden center, and the more I talk to customers, I begin to realize that I can help them a lot. That I take for granted that everybody knows how to plant flowers and how to plant vegetables and herbs. And so the objective of this video today is really to help beginner gardeners. So one of my favorite sayings is, I must have flowers always and always. And the beauty of flowers are what so many people are looking for when they come into the store and they feel overwhelmed or intimidated and hesitant to planting because they've never done it before. So today I'm going to talk to you on a very simple level of getting started, getting tomatoes. I'm going to do some tomatoes, and then I'm going to do a container garden with some flowers. So, and I'm going to start at the most basic level. You know, we have one of the best selections of pots here at Decker's Nursery as far as ceramic pots that are ornamental in their own rights. We also have a great selection of lightweight plastic pots for beginners that want to just kind of try their hand and get started without investing a lot of money. So, so today I'm going to be working with a 14-inch plastic pot. So we always have these available in the store. This weekend, tomatoes are going to be on sale at the store where you buy one, you get one for free. So we have a lot of tomatoes on the property. We want to pass those savings on to everyone. But I came to realize not everybody knows how to plant a tomato. So it's really, really simple. And it's one of the most rewarding things you can do in the summer. So anyway, I start with a lightweight pot. And because it's lightweight, I put some weight in the bottom. I just use a couple of bricks. Once the tomato matures and gets full, if the wind blows, it could knock your pot over. And all your work could go down the drain if that happens. So getting some weight into the bottom of the pot will help prevent that from occurring. When you place the pot, you want to make sure that it's in a sunny location where you have at least 6 hours of sun. Okay, so for tomatoes to perform optimally, they need 6 hours of sun. Okay, then we fill the pot, and I always start with recyclables. So I'm going to use this adjacent pot now just to show you what's involved. And we take recycled bottles. I just kind of crush them, and all they're doing is taking up volume at the bottom of the pot. We don't need soil to go all the way to the bottom. We actually only need about this much soil, about half the pot. So the recyclables reduce the cost of the potting soil and a little less work, actually. So if you want the soil for the additional weight, by all means, you could fill that up. A 14-inch pot this size will use about 1.5 feet of potting soil. So we do use the Espoma potting soil. It's an organic potting soil. It's formulated for good performance of all your plants, but it also drains very readily, because that's important, that you want the soil to drain out whenever you're planting in a container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this pot. I use a large scoop to make my job easier. And you don't have to go all the way to the top, especially on vegetables. So today we're going to work with tomatoes, but you can do the same thing with beans and cucumbers and you know, what are some of the others? We could do eggplant. So whatever your choice is, you can use them in containers. So I'm filled up to about here right now, and I feel that's more than enough to get started. So the next step is picking picking out your tomatoes at the store. So when you're looking at the tables during your next visit, you want to decide if you want an organic plant or just a conventional plant. So the obvious benefits of an organic plant is that it hasn't been tainted, has no pesticides, no GMOs, and we carry a great line of both. So it's not that one is right or wrong, it's just your personal preference, and we try to make sure that you have a good selection. So I chose this tomato. This is an Amish paste tomato, okay, but I chose it because it's very leggy in the pot. And one of the things I wanted to show you today is, you know, you always remove the pot from the plant. You don't pull the plant out of the pot. And you just work the roots a little bit to loosen them up. Now I'm going to plant this tomato a little bit deeper than I would normally. So I'm going to take off some of the bottom branches. And the reason I'm doing that is to stabilize the plant a little bit. And they will reroot themselves, which is one of the nice things about planting a tomato. Okay, they're very resilient. So then I use my tools to get a hole, and I'm going to plant 2 tomatoes in this pot. Okay, and it's okay if they kind of grow together. So I'm not sure if the camera picks this up, but I planted that tomato about 6 inches deeper than I would normally. And that's okay, because the tomato will adjust. It'll put new roots on where I pulled the branches off. I'm going to add a little more soil just to level it off. And what that does is it makes the tomato more stable in the pot. So again, to any advanced gardeners or people that do this a lot, I know this is all like pretty rudimentary, but to anybody that hasn't done it before, hopefully this will give you the courage to get started. So anyway, it's just as simple as that. Now I'm going to make room. I'm going to do a heirloom tomato, a conventional heirloom. The first one was an organic tomato, and this is a smaller plant to begin with. So you just want to be, you know, gentle with it because they are fragile. You don't want to drop them or beat them up too bad. And this will be stable in the soil and I'm just going to plant right here. And you can push it down, you know, to make the height work. And voila, it's really just that simple. Now, tomatoes typically produce fruit later in the summer. It's going to mature in size. As it grows and it'll flower, the flowers are what produces the tomato, so you want to make sure that you're not pulling the flowers off, because that's how you get your fruit. But it's very rewarding to watch something grow. And as it does grow, it's going to need support. So we have a couple of ways of doing that. So these are tomato cages, and you want to install these at the time of planting when the plants are smaller. Some people forget to do it, and then it's too late because you can't work the cage over the plant. It's too big. Now these 2 plants are going to merge in the pot. And that's okay. They'll figure that out. That won't hurt either one of them. And they'll each take their allotted space to produce the tomatoes that we're looking for. This one's going to produce a much larger slicing or eating tomato. And this one is producing a tomato that's more for cooking and making tomato paste. So, but as they grow, they're going to be very typical sizes, and you can actually secure them with just a little bit of nylon tape and just secure them to the sides and the tomato cage. So this is one way of supporting them. And then we also have brought these in this year. These are a folding. The support of the tomatoes is very important, and you want to make sure you're doing that at the time of planting. If for some reason you forget, this is a much easier way to surround the pot or the container. okay? And it forms a cage. You just want to make sure the plants are on the inside, okay? And so this is another way if you're trying to support as the plants get a little bit larger, okay? And both of these are available at the nursery. Okay. And as they produce the fruit, you're going to need that support. So don't forget that part of planting tomatoes. So anyway, I wouldn't do more than 2 in a pot this size. There are larger containers if you're interested. And we're always available here at the store to help you if this is something you want to endeavor. I'm going to do some more videos on larger container gardening later. We have a great selection of table gardens that are elevated, and I'll be sharing that with you later. For now, I hope this is helpful, and we'll see you in the garden.